So if someone came to you and said she was thinking about donating, what would you want her to know before she even gets to that application?
I would tell her to educate herself as much as possible. And this is why, again, I'm
Mm,
grateful to be in the position that I am, where I get to work so closely with donors and help support and educate them, not just from a professional experience, but from my own personal experience. But educate yourself as much as possible, medically, emotionally, ethically. Look beyond that compensation, look beyond that dollar sign, and ask questions, understand the risks, and really think about what she feels about the long term implications. I can't stress that enough. For me, as an experienced donor, who's in a position to be able to educate other donors, really getting them to understand what's important to them beyond that compensation, right? Understanding that this is a lifetime commitment and understanding that that's going to change over time. You might feel a way about it now. That might not be the case 5, 10, 15 years down the road. Education, for sure, being at the forefront of all the conversations that I have with donors.
and because I've also spoken to donors that have donated and have regretted the donation. So, I mean, it's not just because they decide to do it and they've done it and now it's like, oh, it was wonderful. No, some people are like, oh, I wish I've never done that before.
And it's understanding that, knowing that those things might change, right? And you might have those regrets. And are you going to be mentally and emotionally equipped to handle those things? In having those conversations in the initial stages of the screening and education process, right? Because I've also had conversations with a donor. I mean, it goes as far as to understanding the types of donation arrangements you're open to. That might change over time. The types of couples and parents and individuals that you might be willing to match with, understanding that that might change over time. Understanding that if you do change your mind on some of these aspects, but there's no way to go back and make some of those changes. Like, for example, having worked at the egg bank, having, a donor who donated her eggs to an egg bank, we froze her eggs, they get matched later after the point of the donation. There's the potential for a match. She was open to all different types of donation arrangements. She got into a relationship. Her religious beliefs changed. Now she doesn't want to donate to certain types of couples. She had already had a match that was going through the process. We kind of had to tell her, like, listen, based on the agreement that was in place with the egg bank at the time, we can't make this change for this particular match. But going forward, we no longer have to present you these kinds of matches. We'll make that change on your profile. It's understanding these are conversations that might come up later down the line. You might change your mind. You might not be able to change that for a particular match. Are you going to be mentally and emotionally equipped to continue with that match, knowing that there's the potential reality for this?
100%. So, having been on both sides, what do you think really needs to change about how donors are educated, treated, and what we're actually talking about now with the donors?
I would say for any donor going through this process, especially a donor who's been able to, through the full process, through at least one retrieval, you really want to take time to reflect how your body has responded or might respond. Not just the physical, but the mental and emotional, how you feel about the experience now versus how you might feel about the experience once you've gone through the full process. Donors deserve more transparency, more long-term health research, and stronger support systems for sure. They play such a critical role in family building, and that contribution should be respected and protected. Again, this tying back into conversations of we're trying to shift from a conversation that makes all of this feel so transactional, but is now involving the donor on a more human level. So thinking about the implications, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally, both before and after you've gone through the process. A critical part of that, right, is the type of support system she has in place, not just with the medical facility or with the agency, whatever program she's donating through, but also at home. Are you open about this with your friends and family? If not, why?